Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Come waste your time with us.
Hello,
Uh,
everybody.
hello everyone. This was a bit of a nostalgia question. Um, what's a toy you guys had when you were a kid that you still had? And do you know what happened?
Hmm, Probably my old Spawn collectibles because they'd be worth some money now. And I actually have no idea what happened to them.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember the ones you're talking about. You had that one we hung from your ceiling
Yeah.
that had the cool wings for the cape, and
Yep.
yeah, yeah. But those original Spawn figures got to be worth something.
Yeah. I think, Travis, you actually have some of those still, don't you?
I do. I have a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
So that's where they
From
went. Travis
yeah,
stole it from you. Never
What
mind.
happened was Joe turned into Rick and he grabbed those toys and he went through a portal, appeared at Travis's house when he was like 12, gave them to him, and then
Yeah.
hit play
bounced
on life. You know.
Here you go. Take these fucking toys.
because spoiler alert for Rick and Morty. Morty is actually a younger version of Rick. Dun,
I don't think that's
dun,
true.
dun.
I don't buy
Oh,
into that fan theory. I don't. Can't be. I don't know what Morty is, but he's definitely not a few past version of Rick, or vice versa. Whatever. Yeah, that's one fan theory I don't buy into.
My
Hopefully,
well,
we will get those answers when the new season comes in.
yeah.
seasons.
Well, the new season comes in November. The ones that will follow will come later.
Yes, generally how it works.
Oh, what is happening right now?
Every No, I am so glad they got signed back on for another, was it 70 episodes of 7 more seasons?
Yeah, yeah.
I hope they don't make us wait until the last episode of the last season to find out who evil Morty is.
I feel like that's something they would do though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
know.
mean,
'Cause, I mean, he still hasn't gotten the Szechuan sauce. So,
he did. He got
not,
like 2 gallons of it.
well, I mean, in the show, Rick never got
Oh,
the Szechuan sauce, and he said, what was at the end of season 2 or season 1 that his whole mission was to get that Szechuan sauce. It's going to take like 9 seasons.
That's just amazing that that is the underlying plot for the entire show.
It's him getting that Szechuan. Which, man, I tried it. I never tried it back in the day, but when they re-released it, I did, and I do miss it. I want it back.
see,
They
that's
got
funny
rid of.
because the creator said it was absolute dog shit.
I thought it was good. Well, usually your memory is better than what the thing actually is. Your
Yeah.
memory. How many retro video games you love, and then you go back to play it, and you're like, this is shit.
What is this?
Yeah, I loved the first Spawn movie when I was a kid. I went back and watched it the other day. It's like the worst movie of all time.
The CG is pretty bad, yes.
Like the
Hopefully the new one
story's
is good.
bad, the acting's bad, everything's bad. Can't wait for the new Spawn.
Hmm. Yes.
Which last I heard, Jamie Foxx was still playing Al Simmons slash Spawn, and Jeremy Renner is playing Twitch in the movie, which should be quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't heard Jeremy Renner playing Twitch.
Yeah, I would have much preferred to see like Gary Oldman playing Twitch. I think he would have.
Oh, yeah. Gary Oldman can play any role ever, though.
Yeah, but I feel like Twitch would be perfect for Gary.
Mm-hmm.
But
Speaking of, McFarlane just released the 300th comic, Spawn comic.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what else is awesome is he is still doing that himself. He has other illustrators and stuff. Like, but he comes up with most of the story, all most of the art. Like, he still works on the comic, and
Hmm.
like that's amazing to me that he still does it himself. He hasn't passed the character off to somebody else. Like, he still is in charge of everything Spawn, and
Yep.
love it.
That dedicated to his creation.
I mean, it's awesome creation too. You know, like Spawn is a very unique character. He has a very awesome look, very awesome backstory, super original. Like, do love Spawn.
How
Not my
much
favorite, but love him.
time does he have left at being Spawn? I mean, it wasn't isn't that the whole thing with the comic? It's been a while since I've read it, but he only has what so much time that he can use his powers, and once they're used up, he's pretty much dead.
Oh, I'm sure they've retconned that in some way. You know, like you're never really dead in a comic book.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure something happened to where his power meter started over, or just got rid of it altogether.
Hmm. They do love to do that in comics nowadays. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well,
turns out this character's awesome. We don't want to kill him.
that or they could spend a lot of time on like one day.
Yeah, true.
You know, like time can move forward or stand still as much as it wants in a comic book. I mean, heck, even in anything else, like the last season of How I Met Your Mother, span of one day, it was a whole season.
Hmm.
The show 24,
Yeah.
you know, like every episode is just an hour in one day. So
Yep. Very true.
yeah, yeah, you can spread that stuff for ages. He is, if they still have that same meter, it's got to be getting low at this point.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe that is his plan is for him to actually use it all up, and then he will finish or stop writing Spawn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Spawn was a cool character though. Such a '90s character. Like, I couldn't see Spawn being created in any other decade but the '90s.
Yeah, that is true.
Even
Crossover
though,
time.
uh, man, we bounce around.
We do, yes.
So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Toys.
Travis, toy.
Ooh, toys. The excuse me. The two that I really remember, um, were these 1950s cap gun alien blasters that was passed down through my stepdad's family. They were the coolest freaking thing of all time because
Yeah.
it was like the ray gun from Call of Duty Zombies,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
but it was back in the 1950s when they. So I'm thinking that when Treyarch decided for that, that's what they based it off of.
Could
Mhm.
be. Yeah.
That
But
design.
yeah, it was the coolest thing. It was covered in lead paint and I cancer.
Yeah. Yep. Back when everything was covered in lead paint. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those old school 1950 toys. I've seen there was a show on Netflix, I believe it was called The Toys That Made Us. They showed little segments of like some old school um, 50s toys, and some of them were actually kind of cool. Like they released a Tommy gun that actually
Yes.
just looked like a real Tommy gun, and they had to discontinue it because it looked too real.
Yeah, I'd say back then they didn't put orange tips
Yeah,
on their toy guns, did they?
no, no. I actually remember owning cap gun that didn't have an orange tip, and it was a metal cap gun that looked like a snub nose 38. This thing was like chrome with a wooden grip. It looked like a legit 38. Like, I very easily could have walked into the toy store and held up the place to get more toys, but give me more guns. That was a cool toy. Not the one I missed, but yeah, those old school guns from the 50s. I think those were, as far as toy guns go. The ones you have now are kind of, they're too
Wow.
easy.
So yeah, that's considering where we're at with that in the world right now. Anyways,
See, it's fucking impossible not to talk about it. It's so impossible.
it is hard.
The world has just gotten so fucking dumb that it's everyday life. That's my rant for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree.
Well,
So ridiculous.
all right, mine would be kind of hard because I had a lot of types of toys back in the day. But if I had to boil down one in particular, when I was around 11 or 12, which I know is kind of old for toys, but still, I got this awesome.
Not at all. We're adults who have toys now. How dare you, sir?
Yeah, but we don't play with them. They just sit up on the shelf.
Bullshit.
I like
Speak
my
for yourself.
I like my collectibles to stay in mint condition. So I don't play with them. But I had this awesome fully posable Spider-Man action figure when I was a kid, and that was my favorite thing to play with.
That thing was a shit. I remember that guy.
Yeah, you could actually pose him to the stances that Spider-Man does in the comics. And I believe it was actually a licensed Spider-Man animated series, like the old 90s animated series action figure. But it was awesome. To my knowledge, it was the first one that was fully posable, and it had like 18 points of articulation. And I loved that toy. I held on to it for years. And one day, the rubber band that held his torso to his legs inside of it just snapped, and I could never get him fixed. And I lost all the pieces. And I miss that toy. I wish I still had it. I've tried to find it, like at Goodwills and search online and stuff, and I've not had much luck.
Yeah, they don't make. Well, I mean, I guess I don't buy action figures now, but I don't know how articulate the toys are that they make nowadays. But that thing, like every single joint of that toy moved.
Yeah. Well, now they have like 32 points of articulation. You can
Yeah.
actually fucking bend fingers and
32 points to get pinched at.
Oh, right.
yeah, right. Yeah. But those ones wouldn't be fun to play with, I wouldn't think. Those are make a pose, put it on the shelf, and leave it. Whereas the one that I had, play with it. Like I could make him battle. I had a bunch of different sets of toys, Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, X-Men, all that shit. So, Spider-Man would totally be fighting Optimus Prime or a Power Ranger. But yeah, that's the toy I miss the most. I love that Spider-Man action figure.
Imagine kids from the 50s if they had access to the toys that we have nowadays.
Oh, it'd blow their minds, dude.
Yeah.
Like that. I feel like a lot of the toys that we have now, like they kind of make me feel a little kid seeing these toys would feel like I felt the first time I held Transformer action figure. Like, what the fuck do I do with this thing? Was what I thought. It just complicated, Scared to touch it because I might break something on it because it looks too special.
All right.
Interesting fact, I actually used to have an original Starscream Transformer.
Oh.
Yeah, and my dumb ass took it apart, because I wanted to see if I could put it back together. So I got a screwdriver and I took that thing apart. Every single piece that I could take apart, I took, and I could not get it back together.
Engineer, you are not.
No, it went in the trash. So yeah, dumbass me. I'm pretty sure Starscream, an original Starscream in the '80s, is one of the, not the most valuable, but one of the most valuable Transformer.
Hmm. A lot of those old Transformers toys are worth so much money nowadays.
I think the original Megatron is worth the most because it turned into a gun, and it actually looked like a real Ruger. Because in the cartoon, the '80s cartoon, that's actually what Megatron turned into. It was
Yeah, I remember that.
so, well, in the cartoon it was a blaster, but the toy version he was actually a Ruger, and yeah, they banned him, and now he is worth tons of money.
Money, money, money.
Yeah. Oh, toys! They are a great thing. I do still like to collect them, and instead of well, not instead of, but I have a lot of ornament that are just action figures that I hang on the tree at Christmas time.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
I think
I used to have,
my favorite like collectible or toy, if you will, that I have now is actually still that Eve Hypo that you gave to me, Joe.
oh yeah,
I love that thing.
Eve Hypo from Think Geek for BioShock. Yeah, that thing is cool. My favorite collectible that I have now, it's got to be my big Hot Toys Eric Draven the Crow action figure that my brother bought for me for my birthday / Christmas a couple years ago. Like, if I don't know if people know anything about the Hot Toys brand, but they go for realism and like movie accuracy when they make the licensed action figure, and they're 1/6 scale. They are awesome. They have interchangeable parts like hands. Some of them come with like the Spider-Man action figures come with different eyes that you can pop into the head, so you can have different like expressions. The Deadpool one does the same thing. You can pop the eyes out and interchange them, so you can do different expressions, and they are just too cool. But they, miraculously enough, did a Crow action figure, and yeah, my brother got me that, and it surprised the hell out of me because this figure costs like almost $200.
Yeah.
These are these are definitely for collecting, playing, like, because I think they have some that are in the $400 and $500 range.
It is a really cool little collectible too.
Yeah,
it's legit.
I love that Crow action figure. I've got a few different Crow action figures and pop vinyl bobbleheads, but I love that Hot Toys brother. And he's such a cool brother for getting it too. I love my brother.
My favorite collectible that I have now is a 13-inch tall
dildo.
Oh yeah. It's kind of funny what I'm about to say now. Violator.
Oh. What was that? A 13-inch tall vibrator? That's cool. Like, does he look like the original Violator, or is he like a unique?
Yeah, he's more like the cartoon.
Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite version of him. And Spawn. Like, I was never a big Spawn.
Yeah, the animated show from HBO, that they did that shit right.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love that series.
His eyes used to light up, and I think he used to talk, but I'll have to put some batteries in him and see. But that toy is probably like 20 years old, 30 years old now.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's nice, dude. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to bring it over sometime.
Cool. My collectibles, I feel like I used to have a lot more, but moving and stuff, you end up losing things. But I like to collect those pop vinyls, so I've got like 40 of them. Like, it's not a very big collection because I just like to buy the ones that I really really like. I don't want to own pop vinyls for things that I'm not super into. You know, like
Yeah, having a pop vinyl just for the sake of having the pop
yeah,
vinyl.
like I'm not that kind of a collector, but you know, my favorite pop vinyl would have to either be my Scary Terry one or I've got a Howard the Duck one.
Nice.
Yeah, the Howard the Duck one is cool. That was I won it out of a crane game, surprisingly enough, and it's the comic book version of Howard the Duck, not the old '80s version, like even the new version from Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, he's too cool. And I
Very
was super
rare.
happy. Yeah, I was like, "What is that, Howard the Duck?" Yes, and
$40 into this machine.
All right.
nope, $4. That's all I spent. 4 tries. I got it on my fourth try, so I got that pop vinyl for $4.
A buck a try? That'll tell you how long it's been since I've done a crane machine. Good lord.
Well, this one, it
It's
was
not the
all
50s
pop
anymore.
vinyls. It was all pop vinyls that were the prizes.
Oh yeah, so that makes sense.
They're not going to be 50 cents. I think honestly, a buck a try is probably kind
Still
of cheap.
cheap, yeah.
I could understand like
Where's
2 or
this-
3 bucks a pop, you know. But
Where's this machine at?
Indiana Beach, dude. Like of all places, we went to Indiana Beach a few summers ago. And while the kids were on the bumper cars, there's a little air-conditioned building right across from the bumper cars that 4 or 5 different like crane game type games. This one wasn't like an old school like crane game like the claw that came down. It was actually the one where you have to get the key through the keyhole of the item that you want, and
I've
so you
never
got a
heard
lot.
of it.
Yeah, like you have these 4 rows of like 4 or 5 different keyholes, and under each keyhole is a prize, and you have to try to. This key is on an arm, and you got to try to move it up and line it up with the keyhole. Then you hit the go button, and it goes forward. And if you can get it through the keyhole, then you win the prize. And more often than not, you're going to lose. It's going to hit just above or just below the keyhole, and you know, if it doesn't go through perfectly, yeah, I lucked out that day. 4
Yeah.
tries, and I got that.
That's a mighty impressive, sir.
Yeah, that was a fun day at Indiana. I never expected to have fun at Indiana. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better over the years than what it was back when we were younger, for sure.
I guess the year we went was the first year that it was under this new ownership that it is now, and they have done some updates in the last few years that have made it better. So we ended up going back last. Ended up having just as we had season passes actually, so we went a few times.
Always a good time. I haven't been. It's been a few years since I've been. It was always good.
Yeah. The next goal is to go to like Kings Island or Six Flags that I've never been. So, and I don't think Kat has been since she was a kid. She has definitely talked about wanting to try to go. So,
Right.
that's in the works. Well, you said you wanted to try to go to Disneyland sometime
Yeah.
at the beginning of 2020, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that might be it. Seeing that Star Wars Galaxy exhibit that they have, really cool.
Yes. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Actually, I found out the other day, my work has discount tickets where you pay like, this is for just couples, 2 people, but you pay like, $1,100-$1,200 through just Disney buying the tickets. With the discount from work, we actually can get them for like $900 or something like that.
Nice. discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I wish those places weren't so expensive to get into. I understand that there's a lot to see and a lot to do. God, that is such a high price tag.
It is, but if you think about it though, um, it's so worth the money that you pay. Like they call it the happiest place on earth for a reason. You go and you just don't stop smiling. Like Disney's incredible. Disney, Universal Studios, Epcot, all of those areas down there are so much fun. Like even if you're like the mopey and you're like, I'm not having fun. If you're there, people who are having fun, it's going to rub off on you.
Well, let me rub this one off on you. You ready for this, John?
Oh lordy, I'm prepared. I got my tissues. Let's do this.
So, Disney is in big debt trouble right now. Like,
yikes.
about to shut their shit down. Big debt problems.
What the hell? Where's this coming from?
Yeah, this is something that just happened. Kate was she's watching a YouTube video about this guy that always goes there. I think it's Tim the Tracker. And I believe, now don't quote me on that, but someone had said that they're going to start raising their prices. So like a $30 little figurine meals are going to be like $10 more, stuff like that, to pay off this debt. And I think it's from Edge of the Galaxy. Which, why didn't they have the money before then? Why would they go into debt
to build that? Yeah.
So the main reason this is coming up is because they have this hotel. So the Star Wars hotel package is one person gets a room and an all-day pass to Galaxy's Edge. It's $1,000 fucking dollars.
Jeez. Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
I don't see spending like 2 months rent on.
That's a big yikes. Yeah, no. Thank you.
Universal Studios is lowering their park prices.
Oh, well.
Looks like we're going to the Wizarding World.
I say I plan on going there anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Kat really wants to go to the Wizarding World. She would rather do that than go to Disney World.
Yeah. I'm doing both. Throwing that out there. I gotta. You just gotta.
Yeah.
Kat's got a good one here. I have a question. If you could remake any movie only using...
What? Only using what now?
Muppets. What would it be?
Oh, remake any movie using Muppet. Oh my god. So okay. What's that newest Muppet movie that came out, like the adult one? I didn't watch it because it didn't interest me. Like, Muppets just, they don't do anything for me.
Oh, the Happy Time Murders?
Yeah. That movie I have no interest in that movie whatsoever. But seeing a remake of a movie with Muppets would be hilarious if done right.
Well, see, the Happy Time Murders actually wasn't a Muppet movie. If we're talking like the actual,
yeah, true
Muppets, so you mean like along the lines of Muppet Treasure Island or the Muppet Christmas Carol, like talking like having Kermit and Piggy and all that,
like the actual Muppets and not or made up ones. I guess
it'd be kind of cool to see like Star Wars but Muppets.
Yeah,
like A New Hope done with Muppets. Kermit would totally be Luke. I mean, Fozzie would be with Chewbacca.
Miss Piggy is Leia, of course.
Oh yeah.
And in like the Muppet humor though.
Oh yeah.
No.
Who? Let's see. Gonzo would have to be old Ben Kenobi.
That's good.
Yeah, that's who that or Han.
Fucking Baker would be Yoda.
Yes.
That's good. Who would be like the bad guys then, like Darth Vader and Palpatine? Because there's not really bad guy Muppets, is there?
Yeah, ish.
They could do like real people though.
Yeah,
True.
but there are some of Muppets that like they did it in Muppet Treasure Island where they had some who were actually like bad pirates. So those ones I actually can't think of their names. I know they do have them, but I can't think of them.
Oh, who would the Swedish chef be?
Dirty, dirty, skirty. Oh God,
Lando?
Lando, or or Jabba the Hutt.
Rizzo would be Jabba's little mate.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, he even sounds a little bit like him when he talks.
Mm.
That's good. Yep, Star Wars Muppet. That might happen though. That seems like something that could totally.
Yeah.
Mm. It's the next crossover. Get on it, Disney.
Like, doesn't Disney own the Jim Henson properties now?
I'm not sure, actually. That's a good question.
I mean, they own everything else.
They're pretty close to becoming a monopoly, yes.
Which, I mean, I'm okay with it. They got the money to back it, and they make good movies.
Yeah, they make good content in general, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I read an article the other day, and I do have to agree that their Pixar movies have been slacking lately.
Yeah.
The originals, when they first started, were so good, and they're just... It's because, I mean, that's just an entertainment thing in general. Everything is a sequel factory anymore. Like, where's the original ideas, the original IPs?
Yeah, I'm kind of
Those
over.
people died.
I'm kind of over Toy Story, you know. Like, I don't want to see another Toy Story, which I hear we won't. You know, like I haven't seen Toy Story 4, but I hear it pretty well wrapped up.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the end. I'll be watching that one again.
Which?
You're outnumbered this time, sir.
I'm sorry. I just didn't care to watch Toy Story. I probably will eventually.
You know
I
what?
gotta see it.
I grew up with that. I was just a wee little lad when that came out. I wasn't 14.
For your information, I was 12 when the first one came out, and I loved the second one.
Dude, I was just kidding. I can't believe I was 2 years off.
Yeah, I actually did used to love Toy Story and all the Pixar movies from back in the day. I feel like
yeah,
Cars.
personally, I still like them. Cars I could never do. I never could do Cars.
I kind of feel like that's where they really started to go downhill.
Yeah.
But,
Their best movie, though, IMO, is WALL-E.
oh yeah,
WALL-E's
great.
phenomenal.
Really is. I always liked A Bug's Life too back in the day. I wish that one was cool. It's cool that it didn't. Like, it was almost good enough to not need one. But I always kind of wondered why A Bug's Life Cars did.
Right.
No.
Cars got.
Up was pretty good too.
Didn't Cars also have a spin-off? Wasn't that Planes supposed to be set in the Cars universe too?
I'm not sure, but if going by fan theories, they're all connected in one way or another.
Yeah, by the what is it? The pizza truck.
Yeah, the number, the doors in Monsters Inc. Yeah, that's a huge rabbit hole that we don't need to get into. But
damn fan theories. Some of them are meaningless and don't need to exist.
I want to say that Disney confirmed one of the theories, at least. I couldn't tell you which one that was, but I remember hearing that they confirmed a theory.
I know there was one involving the MCU that they confirmed. It was just kind of a small one that Peter Parker was actually the little kid from Iron Man 2 that Iron Man saved at the expo.
Hmm.
I mean, that was a fan theory that they ended up accepting, but I don't know about any others.
No clue.
Well, I'm out of questions in my little list for this. Thought I had some more, but could not find them.
It's all good. Sounds like a good time to wrap up then. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching.
Except for, hold on, let me get his name here. Big Boy Bob, you fuck. Take that shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's gotta be my thing. Like every time we outro, I gotta yell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody should have a trademark. I have that one at work now. Well, I've sang the song to you. Fuck a bunch of that. I've got everybody on that shit now. People at work. You come into a situation you just don't want to be a part of, just say fuck a bunch of that. Walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for us for this week, right?
Yep.
And bye.
Love ya. Bye.
Bye.